guys, Kylie in here to talk about Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. So I know this game's a few months old by the time I actually get to recording this video. This should be coming out sometime in January. But I 100% of the game when it first came out, and I really want to give my my thoughts on it because it's so good, and I want to try to sell as many people on this as possible, especially now that it's going on sale. I think I've constantly seen it on the eShop and stuff, at least in the last few weeks, for like 50% off, sometimes bundled in with like a digital copy of Kingdom Battle. So if you don't know about this series, it's basically a mix between like a real-time and more heavily leaning towards turn-based kind of strategy game with Mario characters and Rabbids just cosplaying as them. It's honestly quite a fun concept that I think, especially when it was first being rumored back in 2017 to exist, nobody thought was going to be a good idea. But it turned out to be one of the Switch's, like, I don't want to say biggest success stories, but biggest surprises of the first year. Because obviously the first year was so packed, but this game turned out fantastic, and I think the sequel's even better. But to go more in depth, I want to run through like some of the pros and cons, not talking too in depth about either one because this isn't a review, it's more of an overview at this point. But yeah, I think the game has a much better story compared to Kingdom Battle. The villain this time around is Cursa. Cursa's hunting down Rabbids so they can eat on them, I assume, to grow more powerful. It's not really explained all too in depth, but Cursa doesn't really show up too much in the game. Like, they show up in the background on occasion, but primarily you're going to be fighting Spark Hunters. So each world has either like a normal like enemy boss or a Spark Hunter. I am not going to talk about them too in depth because I think it's kind of spoilery, but there's 3 Spark Hunters and they'll show up throughout the 5 worlds. The new playable characters in this game are Rabbid Rosalina, a new mysterious Rabbid named Edge, and my favorite of the 3, just for surprise value, is Bowser. I think they had a really good lineup of characters this time. Unfortunately, Yoshi and Rabbid Yoshi did get cut from Kingdom Battle. I know there's some people that are really upset about that, but I kind of understand it. So this game, you go through 5 different unique worlds. Each will have like their own, I guess kind of like biome. There's like a couple of the samey ones, but they each have like this own main character that you want to help out. They're very creative. I think they're some of the best parts of this game character-wise, just because they're all so unique and stuff like that. But besides that, moving on to like the new battle system, Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle had a heavier focus on a grid system, so you had to move around in this grid. You could backtrack and stuff like that, but it's basically, you had a certain amount of space you can go there. Sparks of Hope is more open, like you have just like a circle that you can walk anywhere you want. Movement in throughout battles feels fantastic. I had no issues with it. I didn't have any issues with it in Kingdom Battle either, but this one, it does feel more open. It feels like you have more opportunities to get damage out, which I think was fantastic. Another thing is, like I said, Cursa's trying to collect sparks, and you will battle certain enemies and stuff, and they'll give you your own sparks. Each spark that you get, there's 30 in total in the game, has their own unique skill set. Like, they'll give you like a freeze ability, more movement options, stuff like that. It's kind of like the special moves that each character had in Kingdom Battle, but it's definitely much more refined, which I have no complaints of because it turned out to be fantastic. You can bring 3 characters into battle each time, and thankfully they got rid of the stipulation that you had to have Mario in the party at all times. That was really annoying for some people, but now if you really want to, you can have a party comprised of completely Rabbids or completely the normal Mario characters. It's whatever you want to do. It's really nice. I have no complaints there. Like I said before, Sparks are a mix of Lumas and Rabbids. And you can equip them, you can level them up. I think it's level 5 or 6, but it feels great. You earn star bits throughout battles, so even when you don't have to battle, there is a reward system, which is great. With a bigger focus on open world exploration, it provides better opportunities to provide more elaborate puzzles, which is fantastic. You really didn't get much of that in Kingdom Battle. It was just more so of a, hey, there's a little open area on this path you're walking through, figure out the puzzle. Now with these open worlds, they have a bunch of like mainstay puzzles and stuff. Like there's a battle challenge in each world provided by a certain Rabbid character that'll show up. There's a certain puzzle. Then there's a bunch of just like other miscellaneous stuff that will be different on each world. It is so much fun to explore these worlds. It is absolutely fantastic. It is a little annoying because if you are going for 100%, there might be like 1 or 2 little small things you have to find, and the game does not do a good job on telling you where it is. You kind of just have to like aimlessly wander around, so if you are looking for 100%, be really thorough going through. Sometimes there's stuff that's really hidden and it's kind of stupid, but you get what you get. Speaking 100% though, personally, I would not recommend going for it unless you just have such a fantastic time with the game like I did. The developers do leave a nice surprise for you if you decide to go for that total completion, but it's not super needed to see unless you just really want to support the dev team. It took me roughly just under 40 hours on the normal difficulty to see everything the game has to offer, which I think for a game like that, great length. It didn't really overstay its welcome too much until like maybe the last 5 hours. I was starting to get a little drained of it, but I had a fantastic time throughout the entire game. What disappointed me a little bit was the boss battles. While they are fun, while they are unique like Kingdom Battle, they don't go as far to be unique characters like the first game did. Like if you played through Kingdom Battle, there was an opera singer that actually sung verses, and it was hilarious, it was great. You don't really get that here. Like I said, you have the Spark Hunters, you have a couple of bigger enemies that pop up. They're all fun to fight, don't get me wrong, but I would not say they are as clever or creative as Kingdom Battles, so if the boss fights are what you really look for, don't get your hopes too high, especially if you played the first game. And I think the last big thing that I would recommend if you guys do pick this up, if you guys are playing it and you are experienced in strategy games, do not play on normal difficulty. I went into that thinking that it was going to be as challenging as Kingdom Battle was. I played through it the entire game because I didn't want to keep changing my difficulty level, which you can do, but I chose not to. Normal difficulty is way too easy. They give you way too many opportunities. The AI is not fantastic. And I'll admit, throughout my entire playthrough, I was a little disappointed that everything was a little too easy. So I might go back through at some point in the future, maybe when the DLC comes out, and play it on a harder difficulty. There's a lot of accessibility options, difficulty options to change, so it's not just all or nothing. But I definitely would not recommend playing on normal difficulty, or especially easy for non-newcomers. But it does make it more openly accessible, which I would say was not done quite as well in Kingdom Battle just because it was a challenge, but personally I appreciated it. The last thing that should be mentioned before I wrap this up is there is so much DLC coming to this game this year. In Q1 of 2023, there's going to be like a battle tower kind of thing, so I'm assuming we'll go through defeating like bosses, enemies, stuff like that to get to the end without dying. That is going to be only for expansion pass holders. DLC Wave 2 will be coming out middle of the year. It's going to take you to a new planet, and there's going to be what I perceive to be another Spark Hunter you have to fight. We have no info on where they're going, but there was like a picture of Rabbid Peach on Instagram, like next to a rocket ship, kind of teasing it. That's exciting. I can't wait for that one. But I think what everyone is looking forward to is the third DLC that will be coming out towards the end of the year. They're bringing Rayman into the game. He's going to have his own unique little side story, kind of like the DLC expansion for Kingdom Battle, where Rabbid Mario and Rabbid Peach will be teaming up with him to go on their own adventure. I know there's a lot of disappointment about like the normal Mario characters not meeting Rayman, but I hope that like if you complete it, you can go like have a new Game Plus file and bring him onto your party, but right now there's no confirmation of that. But yeah, I would really recommend this game. It turned out to be one of my top 3 games of the year. I believe I placed it at number 2. Go check out our Game of the Year video to confirm that one, but I'm pretty sure I placed it at number 2. I had a fantastic time with it. I think it's well worth the $60, and now that you can get it pretty frequently for under that, I cannot recommend this game enough. Please pick it up. I want to get a Mario Rabbids 3 somewhere down the line, especially on the next system. But yeah, I hope this video convinced somebody to pick up the game. Thank you guys so much for listening to me ramble for like the last 10 or so minutes. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.